Well, good morning, everyone. And this will be our last time together, it looks like. So just want to say it's been a great class with everyone. I'm coming to you again from the great state of Wisconsin. Um, I apologize if I struggle through this a little bit. As Dr. Slacker said, um, uh, Duns Scotus is very dense. It's been a long time since I've done any reading from him, and I'd forgotten just how dense he really was. And also in the process of this, I also crushed my glasses. And I don't have an extra pair. I've ordered them, but they're going to be 10 days getting here. So I've been using a magnifying glass and so on to try to read through it. So you'll apologize if I struggle through this. I do have notes on my screen, and I'm going to try to get through this as briefly as possible because the subtle doctor is, as I said, very dense. Um, I much more enjoyed Aquinas than Mr. Scotus, Dr. Scotus. So basically, I'm looking here at the first part which is the Scotus's proof of the existence of God. And I'm looking back through some notes I took previously years ago in another reading of Scotus. One of the comments I had written down was the fact that he seems to try to combine the arguments of Anselm in his argument for the existence of God with some of the proofs that some of the five proofs that Aquinas tries to put forward. And I'm going to try to go through this as easily as possible. I've tried to come up with a better example, and I can't really come up with one. So I'm just going to try to use a very simplified form of Scotus's argument for the existence of God. It's a complicated argument with a lot of main and subsidiary steps. The first thing that Scotus tries to show is that there is some being, some entity that is, first of all, the first efficient cause of all things, and that this entity is also the end for which all things are ordered. Again, possibly looking a little bit at Aristotle in this particular task, and that this being is the most perfect being. It's the most perfect, and this is going back to some signs of Anselm as well. This is the most perfect being that you can think of. This is what Scotus refers to as his triple primacy of the divine nature. So that is a given. That's kind of the context with which Scotus places his proofs for the existence of God. The second thing is aimed at showing that this being that was able to come out, or was all that fitted yes to all these parts of the triple primacy, that this entity, this being, will fit according to all the other primacies, both the first, second, and the third, and can be ultimately ordered to be the prime mover, or the first agent, as he likes to call it. And that this threefold primacy belongs to just one entity, one being alone. So briefly, and again, I apologize, I've kind of gone soft in the head the last couple of weeks, so I apologize for. But basically, what he says is that, first of all, in looking at the triple primacy, if this being cannot produce itself, if no effect can produce itself, and that no effect, no being can be produced by nothing, that is ex nihilo, and that it can't be caused by any accidental circle of proofs, or circle of possibles, or a circle of causes. Therefore, it has to be produced by something else. The effect, whatever it has to be, whatever that effect may be, you know, whatever you can imagine, falling down the stairs, taking a walk, those things are all produced by something else. That something causes causes these effects to come into being. So if you assume that, again, I'm trying to read my notes in the process. If you assume that this being is given, some being out there, or some entity is given a causal power, something that would allow it to cause effects, could it possess that cause in an imperfect way? well, to be an imperfection, therefore, would not fall in with one of the three of the triple primacies, and that is that it's the greatest being which you can consist of or consider, because to have an imperfection obviously is not perfection. And so, if an entity were to be given this power or had this causal power, therefore it would hold those powers in perfection. Okay, so it would not be possible for that to be held with an. It can't be coincidental. It has to be something that is directed. And so, therefore, if all that is true, since all those things would indeed be part of a perfect being, therefore, this being would be a first agent. This would be a prime mover. Okay? That this it's possible this being a first agent. That if there were no first agent, there would be nothing that could bring this entity and this power into being. So it could not, in fact, be possible for there to be a first agent. So therefore, if all those things are true, if the being holds that causal power in its hand and is able to do these things with perfection, without dependence, and so on, therefore it is perfect. Therefore, it is the first mover. It is the first agent. Okay. It sort of makes sense in my mind, as I work through it. I've read through these notes and kind of curtailed things on and on for the last couple of weeks, but that's how I see it. Again, I apologize for the brevity. Again, the good subtle doctor is indeed very subtle, and is indeed very dense. Difficult to read as well. I did learn in the process, from looking back through my notes, that it's at Mr. Scotus, Mr. Duns Scotus, who gets the privilege of having the dunce cap named after him. I find that hard to believe, but at any rate, that's how I see it, and that's how I see this combination of probably Aristotle, Anselm, and Aquinas as we look for the proofs of the existence of God. It's been a wonderful class, very challenging. I hope all of you are safe. I hope all of you are happy. And I'll probably be seeing some of you in other courses. Thank you, and have a great day.